Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about There Is No Big Bad Wolf in This Story by Lou Carter and Deborah Allwright. This was supposed to be a story about a big bad wolf. Yikes! Who tricked Little Red, naughty, then chased little piggies and blew down their houses, but fell down the chimney, which served him jolly well right. The end. However, I can't tell you that story because the big bad wolf is late. Again. Yes, I know I'm late. You have no idea how hard it is being me. The three little pigs are seriously grumpy. All your huffing and puffing should have been over and done by now, says the first little pig. Where have you been? Says the second little pig. We can't wait around all day waiting for you, says the third little pig. But Wolf can't stop. He must get to Grandma's house before Little Red Riding Hood arrives. Get a move on, Mr. Wolf. You're supposed to be in our story, says Grandma. Poor Wolf. He is absolutely frazzled. How exactly am I supposed to be in two stories at the same time? It's completely impossible, and you're always cross with me, and I won't put up with it any more. From now on, there will be no big bad wolf in any of your stories. They can totally manage without him, can't they? Can't they? Everyone tries their best, but big bad wolfing is much harder than it looks. Fortunately, Dragon has come to help. He will be excellent at huffing and puffing. Or, maybe not. Huffing and puffing is not the best job for a dragon. Ah! What a disaster! Oh, we really need a big, bad wolf in this story, says Little Red Riding Hood. But where is he? Says the gingerbread man. Aha! Here he is. Please help us, Mr. Wolf. All our stories are burning down, says Grandma. And no one can huff and puff like you, says the second little pig. But Wolf doesn't want to help, does he? Does he? He does. No one can huff and puff like a big bad wolf. Wolf has saved the day. We're super sorry we were cross with you, says the first little pig. And we promise to help you from now on, says the second little pig. We totally can't manage without you. So there you have it. A story about a big bad wolf, who was late for everything, tick-tock, which made everyone cross. Gah! So they gave him a helping hand. Go team! And he was never late again. The end. And that was There's no big bad wolf in this story. There was an old dragon who swallowed a knight, by Penny Parker Klosterman and illustrated by Ben Mantle. There was an old dragon who swallowed a knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a steed that galloped around at a terrible speed. Oh, how the dragon wished it would stop, that clippity, 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 clop. He swallowed the steed right after the knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a squire, who hollered, "That's hot!" when the dragon breathed fire. He swallowed the squire to calm the steed that galloped around at a terrible speed. He swallowed the steed right after the knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a cook, a savoury cook, and his recipe book. He swallowed the cook to fatten the squire. He swallowed the squire to calm the steed that galloped around at a terrible speed. He swallowed the steed right after the knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a lady. It seemed quite shady he'd swallow a lady. He swallowed the lady to rule the cook. He swallowed the cook to fatten the squire. He swallowed the squire to calm the steed that galloped around at a terrible speed. He swallowed the steed right after the knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a castle, swallowed it down to the last golden tassel. He swallowed the castle to hold the lady. He swallowed the lady to rule the cook. He swallowed the cook to fatten the squire. He swallowed the squire to calm the steed that galloped around at a terrible speed. He swallowed the steed right after the knight. I don't know why he swallowed the knight. It's not polite. There was an old dragon who swallowed a moat, guzzled and gulped it right down his throat. With all of that water he started to bloat, and that's when the dragon roared, and I quote, "Okay, enough, I've had enough, more than enough of this swallowing stuff. Maybe I've been a tad impolite, perchance I should only have swallowed the knight." So he burped out the moat that had caused him to bloat. He burped out the castle along with the tassel. He burped out the lady who found that quite shady. He burped out the cook in his recipe book. He burped out the squire, now blackened with fire. Then, with all of the power that he could amass, the dragon burped out one last billow of gas. Burp! And with terrible speed, he burped out the steed. Clippity, 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 clop. Clippity, clippity, clippity. Stop. There was an old dragon, he swallowed a knight. Ah, just right. Good night. And that was There Was an Old Dragon Who Swallowed a Knight by Penny Parker Klosterman and illustrated by Ben Mantle. The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Adapted by Meg McLaren and Sam Hay. Once upon a windswept prairie lived a little Dot and her dog, Toto. They dreamed of exciting adventures. So, when a strange, swirly-whirly, hurly-burly wind came howling by one day, they just knew something extraordinary was about to happen. Little Dot's auntie didn't like the wild wind. She knew it meant big trouble. "Run inside!" she shouted. "There's a tornado coming!" But as Little Dot and Toto ran into the house, whoosh! The tornado whisked up the house and blew it far, far away. Up, up it flew, up into the sky, then down, down, bump, thump. The house had landed in a strange and beautiful land, where little people dressed in blue were cheering. "Hooray! You've squashed the bad witch!" Little Dot didn't know what they were talking about until... Oops! She spotted two sparkly silver boots poking out from under her house. A lady in a starry cloak stepped forward. "I am the good witch from the north," she said. "The bad witch you squashed has a sister, the even worse witch, and she'll be very cross with you. You'd better go home." But Little Dot didn't know the way home. "What will we do?" she said. "Follow the yellow brick road to the Emerald City and see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. He will help you get home," the good witch suggested. "And put the bad witch's silver boots on. They're magic and might be useful." "Thank you," Little Dot said. Then she took a deep breath. "Come on, Toto, let's find our way home." And they set off on their big adventure. They hadn't gone far along the yellow brick road when they found a worried-looking lion. "I'm scared," he wailed. "I've just seen a talking scarecrow." Little Dot was about to explain that scarecrows couldn't talk when... "Oh, hi," the scarecrow said. Toto woofed. "Ruff." But Little Dot just giggled. "How can you talk?" Scarecrow didn't know. "Ah, shucks, you see, I haven't got a brain to think with," he said. Little Dot had an idea. "Let's ask the wonderful Wizard of Oz to give you a brain. He can do anything." "Oh, could he make me braver too?" Lion sniffled. "Of course," Little Dot said. So they all set off together, taking care to follow the yellow brick road, and all the while keeping watch for the even worse witch. Soon they came to a bridge. They were about to cross when Toto's paws started to slip and slide, and he nearly skidded off the side. "Watch out," said a little tin can. "I was oiling the bridge when I sneezed, and I couldn't be bothered to clean up the mess." Little Dot frowned. "Oh, well, that wasn't very kind." "I don't know how to be kind," Tin Can said. "I have no heart." Little Dot knew who could help. "Let's ask the wonderful Wizard of Oz to give you a heart." But first they'd have to cross the oily bridge. Luckily, Scarecrow had a plan. He laid his coat over the puddle. But when they reached the other side... Boo! It was the even worse witch. She had been waiting to jump out at them. Toto began to bark. Ruff, 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 ruff. Little Dot's friends were terrified. But Little Dot wasn't scared. "Hey, don't you frighten my friends," she scolded. The even worse witch stuck out her tongue, then waggled her wand. The yellow brick road began to quake and shake, and then... hiss! Ginormous jelly snakes came slithering up through the cracks in the road. Lion leapt in front of his friends. Roar! The snakes were so scared they melted. The even worse witch was hopping mad now. She waggled her wand again, and a big cloud of boiled sweets appeared. "Quick, hide behind me," Tin Can said, and the sweets pinged off his tummy. The even worse's witch's face turned purple with rage. She raised her wand again. "Uh-oh," said Little Dot. But just then Toto pawed at Little Dot's backpack. "Of course," said Little Dot. "My packed lunch." And she whipped out a yogurt. She shook it, and splat! She squirted it at the witch. "Ah!" shrieked the witch. "You've ruined my best frock!" She was so angry she popped. Gone. Forever. Hooray for little Toto and Dot! Little Dot hugged her friends tight. "Let's go find the wonderful Wizard of Oz." And they raced down the yellow brick road, all the way to the Wizard's Palace in the Emerald City. And waiting inside was a kindly old gentleman, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Little Dot's friends were too shy to speak, but Little Dot wasn't. She told him everything. The wonderful Wizard of Oz listened carefully. Then he smiled and said, "You don't need my help." And he reminded Scarecrow about his brainy idea to cross the oily bridge, and how brave Lion had been with the jelly snakes, and how Tin Can had so kindly shielded his friends from the sweets. So he already had a heart. Then he gave each of them a sticker for good work. The friends beamed with pride. "I'm so proud of you," Little Dot said, hugging her friends tight. But she still hadn't gotten the answer to her problem. "How will I get home?" she asked sadly. The wizard smiled. You had the answer all along." He pointed to her silver boots. "Knock your heels together 3 times and think of home." Little Dot picked up Toto and thought of her auntie. Knock, knock, knock. The boots began to shimmer and sparkle. And in the wink of an eye, Little Dot and Toto were home. And their house was back too. Little Dot's auntie swept them up in a huge hug. "We had the best adventure and made lots of new friends," said Little Dot as she snuggled in. "But I'm so glad to be home." And that was The Wizard of Oz. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video. And remember, you can always subscribe to the channel at Read Us a Story. Thanks. Bye!